Welcome back, everyone, to day 5 of Leagues Leaks Daily, where every single day we'll be going over the new reveals leading up to the release of Leagues 4. Today's relic is the Globetrotter Relic, which gives you all of the available teleports in the regions that you've selected. So this would include things such as the Portal Nexus. They showed the jewelry box. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's also going to give you all of the teleports regardless of if you have that spellbook unlocked. So maybe you don't have Fremenic, so you can't use the Lunar Spellbook, but if you grab the Globetrotter, you'll actually be able to use those teleports and get to all of the locations. And again, just to clarify, this doesn't mean you'll be able to teleport to the other regions. It just means you'll be able to use all of the possible teleports as if you had that region unlocked. This is like having the power of a max house in your pocket. There's probably going to be an item that you use that will just have all of the teleports available to you, and this will speed up how you travel across the world. And I think this heavily implies that there's going to be some tier devoted to transportation and getting around. Last recall just sort of blew that whole tier out of the water. So I'm definitely not expecting to see like last recall compete against this. But I know that they haven't shown any teleports to spirit trees and fairy rings. So I think it could be very possible that Globetrotter would be competing against a different relic, the fairy flight relic, coming back that would let you teleport to any fairy ring or spirit tree. Personally, I love a selection like this because it doesn't feel so broken that any one of them is stronger than the other. It's just kind of like a list of useful teleports that you might want to have. And again, I'm hoping that last recall just sort of comes back as its own passive, because obviously that would be by far the strongest teleportation option. Getting around, especially in the early game, can be pretty challenging for your regions, so I would probably expect to see this, super early, like tier 1 or tier 2. I'm sure very soon they're going to release a full list of all the teleports, but I would definitely at least start taking a look at the regions you've already selected. You're probably not going to switch your entire region selection around this relic, but what you can start to do is look at some of the teleports that you didn't have available, and see if that can adjust your plan, or at the very least just be aware of them, because that can be helpful. So for example, let's say you start off in Kandarin as your first region unlock. Typically you would need the Lunar Spellbook to teleport to Catherby, but if you had the Globetrotter Relic, you would just be able to use that anyways. I would definitely also take a look at the Arceus Spellbook and the Ancient Spellbook to see if there's any useful teleports from there. If you do get access to those, which I'm guessing you probably will, those are typically more out of the way, but in League, since everything is kind of weird anyways, since you're so region restricted, those random teleports might end up being way more useful than you thought. And just having it all on one item really helps out. This also is really nice because building portal nexuses in your player-owned house actually does require the Fremenic region in order to get a gold leaf to construct it. So this is going to give everybody a bit more quality of life if they don't have Fremenic. If you are going Fremenic though, there might be other relics available just because you're going to have access to things like the portal nexus, mounted talismans in your house, jewelry boxes, all that good stuff. Finally, this can be nice if you have a region that has no way of recharging Dragonstone jewelry. Typically you would need Kandarin and Fremenic to unlock the Myths Guild, which is how you recharge skills necklaces, combat bracelets, as well as Amulet of Glories, although you can also recharge Amulet of Glories in the Heroes Guild. But if you don't have those regions unlocked, it can be difficult to charge your jewelry and get those teleports and spend them as much as you want. So this is definitely a nice solution if you're not going for those regions. This is definitely one of the least interesting relics we've had announced so far, but it's a nice quality of life feature. It definitely helps in the early game, and I'd love to see what else this is competing against, because I think it makes it more interesting once you've seen the other selections. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you can think of other teleportation relics that might be announced compared to this. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.